Hey fellas, happy Friday. It is the 12th or the 13th or whatever. Show you. It's a beautiful day. It's like 93 degrees, light breeze. This video is going to be kind of maybe a little bit rough for some of you guys. Just had a good friend come by, and he is probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks I've had to have the same conversation with guys around my age. Now, I'm 69. And the title of this video is going to be Why You Have to Be Ruthless. And the most important person in your life should be you. Now, what I'm about to say may be a duh, but I just think it needs to be said. You cannot afford to, as a man, care more about someone else or a company or your job that you don't own than you do yourself. You have to find a way as a younger man to get out of the things that you are programmed to do. You are programmed to be compliant. Shut up, don't cause trouble, show up early, do the right thing, take care of all the kind of stuff like that. If you do these kind of things, if you do this, that, and that, and you're going to be okay in the long run. And that's not fucking true. There's a company down here called Schneider. They do something with electric drills or whatever to do. So this guy worked for that company for 23 years. And he started off, I think, like on the assembly line. Anyways, he started from the bottom up, worked his way up into management, and was led to believe that he was going to become the assistant president, vice president, not the assistant president, the vice president of one of their districts, areas, their manufacturing warehouses. And they gave the job to a guy that the owner, president, and a couple of the board members play golf with. Not this guy. And when he brought it up that that wasn't fair, they fired him. This is, he is wrecked. He devoted his life, his time, he sacrificed time away from his family to be competitive and help the company and do all that kind of stuff. But he didn't play golf. He was there at the work making sure things got done. Anyways, at the factories, making sure things got done. That's the reality of the world we live in. It is why, and I'll do the drip stocks later, it's why you have to understand money. It's why you have to place yourself first, and you have to put aside a minimum of 10% of your money is yours to keep and invest, to build your nest egg. Sooner or later, if you do that young enough, you'll be able to have what's called fuck you money. I haven't worked since age 46. That was just me knocking on the table. Life for men is incredibly cruel. And it is a lot of times as much, if not more, on who you know than what you know. There's a saying that says A and B students work for C and D owners. If you have the opportunity in your career phase to start a business, build it up, and then sell it off. Could be anything from like a car wash to a laundromat to a dry cleaning business, anything that you think the community where you live needs. And just rinse and repeat that. Unless you want to be unless you have the ability to maintain that business. But all of those businesses have an arc. There used to be tons of hardware stores. There aren't very many hardware stores around anymore, except for the big box stores. So, I think the hardest thing for a lot of guys to come to grips with is to be ruthless. I have no problem being ruthless, but then again, I didn't grow up like a lot of people did, so I was ruthless by the time I was 13. Anyways, people will manipulate you. They will lie to your face. They will do whatever it takes to get you to bust your ass, work your ass off, and then they'll just get rid of you. Another guy was he was not a partner. He was in management in an accounting firm, and they laid him off and hired two younger guys or gals or whoever, two younger people for less than the salary they were paying him. He wasn't ready for retirement. This is a guy that lived check to check. It was woohoo, yeah, great car, great house. It's not paid off. Anyways, I have a friend that lives across the street from me. One of the people that live across the street from me was in the postal system, was doing great, house paid off, all that kind of stuff. Took out, when we had the low interest rates at like 2.5% interest on like a mortgage, he took out a mortgage on his house, on the, I think it's the equity in his house. And then like 30 days after he closed, he lost his job. He's about 5 years older than I am, and he's working at the Amazon warehouse here in El Paso. I see him leave whenever I get up. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when I go for my walk, and I see him out there. I talk to him all the time. I commiserate with him, but that's a fucking tough gig, man. So I think, and here's why you should feel very validated to be ruthless. The company you work for will cut you off at the knees at the drop of a hat. So I know for a fact, I have seen tons and tons of family-run businesses and companies and the rest of that where they promote and hire a family member, a son or a daughter or a daughter-in-law or that, and they give them a nice cushy job that was supposed to be something you'd been working for years. Anyway. Yeah, but all the time while you're working, of course your family, we want to hear what you think. They don't give a shit about any of us. So my advice to you is find a path to get out. It's part of your career path. Plan when you want to retire. What age do I want to stop working? And then backwards plan to where you're at now. My goal was age 50 to get out of the rat race. I got out a few years before that. 4 years before that, 46. The most important thing you have as a man or human is time. You can't ever get time back. Well, who knows with gene therapy or that, but as of now, you can't get that back. So you have to be ruthless in the way you spend your time. All right? Before you know it, your dreamer phase is going to be over, man. You're going to be 24 and be like, wow, okay, now I have to have a career. What type of career? I think the careers that are going to last and be around are going to be the trades. If you plan on living in an office or being in an office, you better have some serious AI training. You can't just be a software engineer. That's not what people need. They don't need, hell, a Grok can write engineering platform better than a guy who's worked there for 20 years. So, again, you must be ruthless in the pursuit of your retirement. And if you have to cut people off, if you have to do what you have to do to become successful, I think you should do it. I think you stand a better chance at some of the ridiculously hard jobs that not a lot of people want to do to have a career I have a friend, his name is Richard Greigru. He went from being unemployed to using his veterans education bill to become what do you call those, a welder. And because he had a security clearance when he was in the military, they could reactivate his security clearance, and now he does welding at nuclear facilities. That's a pretty good gig. So those are jobs people don't really want to do. And the other guy was he started off in the back washing dishes, helped out cooking, waited tables, and then eventually was the barkeeper and ran a staff of 4 guys in the barkeeping. And they just didn't want to pay him what they were paying him, asked him to take a pay cut. He said no, and they fired him on the spot. So you have the right to survive. You have the right to exist. You have the right to be happy and pursue your dreams and that, but you have to be ruthless about making money. Do I wish we didn't need money? I don't know. I never think about it. That's one of the things I got asked. But you don't want to be. My age, 59, don't have a plan, and you get fired. You're asked out. It's too late. That's why I'd say time is a critical part of your life. The other thing is financial literacy. Now, after this, in about the markets will close at 5, and then I'll give them like half an hour to bag everything up, and then I'll do the probably 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'll do the dividend reinvestment stocks. If you would have followed along back in April of 2022, you'd have around close to $40,000 in your account. Now, that may not seem like a lot of money, but if shit hits the fan, you have a cushion. Hope this makes sense to you. And again, you cannot put your faith in someone, and if you're going to put your faith in somebody or your trust in somebody, it needs to be you. You need to be the most important person in your life, and you cannot expect anyone else to give a shit about you. All right? Love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can, and if you can't, you have to take care of yourself. I personally need you. I don't want my future to look like shit, so like a fort in a G-string from West Texas, El Paso. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.